Hello and welcome to our talkie bit for Silent Hill 2. I'm Peter.
Michaela.
And Scott.
And how was that overall then?
I quite enjoyed it. The game seemed to get better and better as it went on. And a lot more comprehensible, thankfully, towards the end.
Yeah, it's like the second playthrough is really good as well, because you start noticing all of the little hints that it gives you to what's going on. And we are happy with the ending you got as well.
Out of what could have been, yeah, that was a pretty decent ending.
I mean, we can talk about the other endings and what's in them, because you haven't seen them, have you? You haven't seen anything.
I've seen the dog ending.
Oh, you've seen the dog ending. I think you just looked it up on YouTube or something. Well, we'll get to that. So let's just go through the playthrough. Short though it was, because I think there was only like 3 videos of actual gameplay. And then we have the sort of credits and stuff separate. So, what did you think of the alternative hospital? Hotel.
The dilapidated version that was leaky and horrible and grimy.
Yeah.
It wasn't as different as the hospital was, but it definitely made an impression that things weren't quite as what they were. The room thing just got annoying very quickly.
I mean, I think you could say the same thing about all of the locations in Silent Hill 2. There isn't as much differentiation between the alternative version and the normal version as there is with any of the other Silent Hill games.
I think it's not quite as important for Silent Hill 2. So.
Much more story-driven as well, I think.
A lot more story-driven than 1, because 1 was, here's a MacGuffin, off you go.
So you didn't like the teleporting doors thing?
No, I don't like games that do that sort of thing without a real purpose behind it.
To delay you.
Yeah, it is a delaying tactic.
To be fair,
Which seemed kind of pointless as you were right next to the end of the game. So.
Well, yes, I suppose really it's just to delay. Though I did say to Peter,
it's a maze.
I thought it was a good counterbalance to all the holes you jump down. As I said, you could interpret it as trying to find your way back out after jumping all the way down, metaphorically, as it were, into your subconscious, which it's supposed to be. I think a lot of people get the impression.
That could be the case.
Now, we also heard you murmur as you were, after the Angela and the Flaming Staircase cutscene, that was awesome.
I think the words I used, that was really cool.
Oh, really cool, really cool.
Despite it being on fire.
I really like that cutscene, because it's the whole, the staircase isn't right. Everything sort of has this sense of unreality about it, because staircases aren't that steep.
Weird pictures on the wall that were like torsos.
And, yeah, 3D sort of more like models.
It seemed like a good close to the chapter of Angela.
Yeah, because you're sort of wondering whether or not you're going to see her again, aren't you, after the last time? Sort of thinking, well, is that her conclusion? And she just leaves.
Yeah, because it's a lot easier with Eddie, because you kill him. You're not going to see him again, you'd hope.
Although you might, you never know.
Well, speaking of that, Maria didn't really have that good a conclusion.
You shot her.
Of course.
Because of course that's Maria at the end. Funny thing is that if you get a different ending, that's not Maria, it's Mary.
It can also be Mary as well.
Or is it, Maria pretending to be Mary? It's not entirely sure, because of course they look the same, so it's hard to tell.
Except have different hair colours, different styles of dress.
But they can look the same if they dress alike and, style the hair like that, which is what I meant.
Going back to Angela, I did quite like that she said that she sees it like that all the time.
The whole hellfire thing.
Yeah. Because it's something they don't often go into, because everyone's experience of Silent Hill is different.
Or seems to be, yeah. But you gain insight into their version of it. So Eddie the town seems to be mocking him by recreating him in meat format. And Angela with being constantly surrounded by fire. Maria died a 3rd time before we killed her at the end. Again. This time with Pyramid Head poking her in the back with a spear.
Most people tend to die once you've killed them the first time. Though, I just sort of come to expect seeing Maria on screen her dying moments after now.
And at no point did her eye become teeth, which is much better than the HD collection.
There's a glitch where her eye texture goes funny in the HD collection, and it kind of looks like teeth.
Yeah, she gets teeth texture mixed up with her eye texture.
That could just be Silent Hill.
Yes, that fight seemed to go on for quite a while. You had a little bit difficulty staying out of range of Pyramid Head's spears.
Just getting the rhythm of it.
Because you did get into the rhythm of the part way through, and then it was like quite a slow slog from that point onwards to the
There's
end.
two of them.
Probably shouldn't have tried to line them up each time to shoot them with one shot.
Yeah, I noticed
That's
that you
why
sort
I
of hit
need
them
you.
both with one shot and then tried to replicate it and then got stabbed.
Someone to punish me.
Don't try to
for
show
my
off,
sins.
you'll get stabbed with a spear. Moral of the story.
Oh, I also
That's
quite
all
liked,
over
though it's a
now.
bit heavy-handed, I suppose, that James does
I
go,
know the truth.
Pyramid Head does exist
Now
for my
it's time to
punishment, that's why he was
end
there.
The eggs seem to serve no purpose whatsoever.
They opened the doors.
I think it's
Yeah?
to take a little time before you immediately go from killing Pyramid Head to the sort of completely different mood you get when you're listening to Mary.
So did he actually need to put both eggs into the door to get through?
You do, yes, but you can go through either door after that.
Fair
Because they both lead to the same sort of corridor, because you're still in the hotel at that point.
Supposedly.
I don't know if you're still in the hotel after you go through the long corridor. We were commenting that the timing was perfect as well, because at the point where she stops the first half of her speech, you nearly left the room,
Yeah, because it tells you to go, just go.
and you start doing it because that's what you think she wants, and then she starts the second half of the speech. And we haven't told you how the endings work, but there's lots of points in the game where you can rack up sort of points that lead towards one ending or another, and that's one of them. If you cut her speech short, it's assumed that you don't like Mary and you want Maria, so you can get the Maria ending instead.
So I assume if I just went straight through the door, it would have possibly been the Maria ending.
Well, I think at that point you were definitely going to get the Leave ending with Laura, but it's one of the heavier ways to weight it towards a different ending. I mean, all of the endings work like that. It's like you get the suicide ending in water ending by looking at the knife a lot, not healing yourself. It's actually a document early on in the game which describes it and starts talking about how to get other conclusions, and it's like it's a sneaky way of fitting into the game how to get different endings.
Same as the Maria ending you get by ignoring Mary, but also by doing things like not really running ahead, but just walking with Maria and making sure she doesn't get hurt and
Not
stuff
hitting
like
her with
that.
sticks. You can hit her with sticks.
And in the hospital, if you go back and check on her, and then you'll get a different ending because you were concerned about Maria.
Because you were a bit worried about which ending you were going to get, and you were worried you were going to get a bad ending, whereas I think Leave is possibly the most positive.
Because you take Laura and you'd leave. You didn't die like Angela, who you presume is dead, or Eddie.
And we'll show you the Maria ending in a bit to see what's wrong with that ending. What did you think of the boss battle? The boss battle.
The end boss battle. Annoying. The bats. Frustrating to deal with.
See, we were talking, we weren't sure whether they were bats or moths.
Well, I think they were bats. That bats would seem more.
They were not a fantastic sort of texture, as it were.
I like the way she was upside down.
The tail thing that she had lashed onto me while I was miles away a couple of times.
And yeah, James kept on doing Jedi mind tricks when he was talking in the cutscenes. Like, I don't need you anymore. And
It's very emphatic.
yeah, so there was lots of hand waving at the end.
It didn't quite work the way he wanted to, but she did turn into a horrible monster that tried to kill him.
Yeah. Well, we've all had that happen. Oh, and Michaela quite likes the way she goes, James, at the end and makes you kill her again.
Yeah, you do actually have to stop and shoot her as she's defenceless.
Took me a couple of seconds to figure that out.
I think that's the idea. And you got the rather emotionally powerful full version of the letter she leaves for you at just before she dies as well. What did you think of that?
It was quite interesting, but all the time I was listening to it, it made me wonder, why did James only get a partial of the letter?
Well, see, it was all there as the idea that he
He meant it
isn't
done.
coming. He is in denial. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
Over the fact
That
that
makes sense.
she's dead.
As many people have noticed and pointed out, it's not just a river in Egypt. Yeah, I mean, I quite like it. It is a little bit slow in the delivery, so sometimes I get a little bit frustrated because it's not actually just getting to like the good bit quickly. But yeah, I thought it was a great performance.
Also, the letter says that it's ending, and then continues for another 2 minutes.
It's like, I have to end this letter now.
It's getting too long.
Now I'll continue.
But in any case,
Another 5
But yes,
paragraphs.
it was very emotional.
it was.
Just choked up a little there. Same as you also had the bit where you were talking with Mary when she was in the bed, but they were talking about the fact that you'd killed her, and James was saying like, "Well, I did it on purpose, didn't I?" And Mary's saying, "Well, you didn't though, because I said I wanted to die," and he seems so guilty about it. So it's kind of a, did he do it then because he wanted to be free, or because she asked for it?
Both, I think, is the idea.
Well, that I'm killing a person's no big deal.
I just like the way it actually dealt with stuff like that, because most games would gloss over it or would go like, well, your wife and child, I've just played Max Payne by the way, well, your wife and child have just been killed horribly, so let's go get revenge. And let's just base the game around that. So it's actually quite nice that they actually go into detail with it and go like, well,
the entire game's based around dealing with the aftermath of your wife's death.
Exactly, yeah, and it's like, this is a game that deals with long-term illness, bereavement, and annoying little girls. Not so much that last one, though. Yeah, I was rewatching the footage, by the way, and I thought, like, she stole the letter from Rachel's locker? That's terrible! Anyway. Anyway, that was our last talky bit for Silent Hill 2, so we hope you very much enjoyed all of that stuff, and we'll move on and play other games soon. In fact, we've still got the extra scenario to do.
Yes, Born from a Wish.
Which you know nothing about.
Nope.
That's good.
Brilliant.
All right.
It's also short, fortunately, as well. Right, thank you very much for paying attention, watching and listening.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.